What's going on, guys? This is my review of the Manticore by Ultrasabers. This is the 6th saber that I've purchased. This is the first one where the idea was to kind of go all out. After having several stunt sabers and having a couple of just regular entry-level sabers, some grab bags, whatever, we really wanted to go all out and get something quite a bit nicer. So this is what we chose. The main reason that I wanted to go for this particular one is the emitter. The Manticore is one of Ultrasaber's most popular hilts, and I can definitely see why. The 10 windows in this emitter look really sharp. This extra level of detail here in the grooves, and then the notched little mini flange type here on the top just look really, really good. In addition to that, you've got some nice color contrast going on where you do have the black here in the center. It's not a rubber grip. It does look like that, but it's just, I think it's painted aluminum, but it's just their black aluminum. I went with this with the silver mounted AV switch. I did not get the illuminated switch because we went with the emerald soundboard. A couple of things that I noticed about just the regular switch as opposed to an illuminated switch, which I have here in my Dominic's. This is a little bit, I don't know, squishier. I guess it's a little bit softer. The regular switch is a little more tactile. It gives you a nice feel. You can definitely have a nice touch feel when you turn this thing on or off or you change settings. I went with the larger pommel here on the bottom. It still gives really, really good sound. You can hear that nice obsidian soundboard. Really puts out a lot of sound. A couple of things that I was surprised by when I got this. The main thing was how big it was. I knew it was going to be about an 11.5-inch long hilt. I knew that it was going to be, a good length. I really wasn't prepared for how big around it is. It is quite, well, it's not a lot thicker than, like, say, my Dominic's or my Aeon, but it does feel more substantial. I think that if you're not a bigger, stronger person, you definitely have to consider this, a two-hand style hilt. I'm a pretty big dude. I can muscle this thing around a little bit with one hand, but my wife, she really, to have good control of it, has to use this with two hands. I was a little surprised by that. Not a bad thing, just something I really wasn't quite aware of. We went with the CoverTech wheel on this one. I really like the CoverTech wheel. First day I got this, I wore it around town to the store and grabbed a coffee. I did a couple things and wore this on my belt all day because I'm a big nerd like that, and I just thought it was so cool. So everything that I will get from now on will definitely have CoverTech wheel. I wish that I would have moved the CoverTech wheel from here to closer to the pommel. I saw another really high view count video review of the Manticore where he had put the CoverTech wheel here. So I was like, that is probably, he probably knows what's going on. That's what I'll do. And what I didn't account for was that guy quite a bit smaller than I am. So I want to wield this with one hand, and that kind of puts it right in my way. I can deal with it because you have a little bit of a nice choke point up here by the emitter. Or if you want to do it with two hands, it's great for two hands to have that CoverTech wheel kind of out of the way. But if you want to do one hand, right-handed wielding, I would move it more towards the bottom of the pommel. Not a big deal, just something that I noticed. So this is my first saber with Obsidian V4 sound and the Emerald driver. So the Emerald driver is really cool. I think it gives Ultrasabers an edge over a lot of the other saber manufacturers right now, simply because it gives you the ability to change the blade to any color that you want. There's millions and millions of different color combinations. Not all of them look great, but there are a ton of them that look really, really good. So it lets you change the color of the blade. You just hook it up to your computer. It's pretty intuitive and easy to use. And it also gives you a nice pulse feature, which is one of my favorite things. So right now I have this in a nice pink. I thought that looked really sharp. And you can see I've got a really light pulse on it. It just makes it feel a little more alive, I guess. When you watch in the movies, their blades tend to flicker and pulse. They don't just stay the same color all the time. And you really can get that feeling on this. I'm going to turn the light off real quick. So you can change this pulse to whatever you want. If you want to have it change from pink to green over a 10-second period and come back, you can do that. I have this switching every 1/10 of a second from pink to a slightly brighter pink. So it gives it that really nice pulse. It's a little harder to see on camera, but I wanted it to be a very, very light pulse. You can see it kind of down on the bottom there. I didn't want it to be a heavy change. I just wanted it to be something a little more subtle that you don't immediately notice when you first see it, but after you look at the saber, you see that flicker. I just thought it made the saber feel more alive. And those windows right there are so cool. They look so nice. I am incredibly happy that we went and got one of these sabers. Apparently, Ultrasabers used to only offer this at conventions, and I mean, I can see why they added it to their main lineup. It just looks really, really good. I'm gonna turn the light back on. So, the other thing that we added, in addition to the Emerald soundboard or the Emerald driver, is the Obsidian V4. So with the Obsidian V4, it actually allows you to store, I think, up to 8 sound fonts on the Obsidian board at all times. So it's only a $10 option above the Obsidian V3, and I think it's well worth it. So to use it, you just hold the button down. And so then you can change between sound fonts. So there is Obsidian, and then you can change. There's the Sith. Ancient Saber. Then you have episode 1, 2, 6. And then this is what's worth it right here. That is silent. So,
confirmed.
If nothing else, just having the ability to put the blade on silent on the fly is outstanding. I was tinkering around with this one day, and I just got tired of the hum. And so it was really nice to just be able to turn the sound off for a little bit and work with the colors and things like that. So as a whole, I would highly recommend this saber. Good, it's hefty, but it's got good balance. It looks really, really sharp. The Emerald driver has more than exceeded my expectations, and it's expensive, but man, it's really, really cool. And if you're looking at like what some of the other guys offer for like to change just between 6 colors, this is actually less money. So, or if you compare this to like even Ultrasaber's RGB option, it's not that much more to go with the infinite color option, and then the pulse, which I think is well worth it. So there's my Manticore. Right now I've got it in a nice Bane's Heart pink. Great looking saber. There you go.